Hello, my loves. I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome into the stream. This is a just chatting stream. We're going to be chatting about this card that I received. I'm going to put it on the screen here in a moment. And the message that it gave me and the learning that I've been receiving from this card and this message and this exploration of this concept. So I really wanted to share it here and kind of give a precursor for a meditation that I'm going to be offering in the next stream. And that meditation I've done before, but the sound quality was a little off. And honestly, we can't do this meditation enough. This is simply a practice in sustaining thoughts that generate good feelings within our being. And I think this is a really very important practice. And I'm going to be chatting about why and the impact that it's had on my life. And feel free to jump in the chat and share your own journey and experiences and anything else that you feel called to share. Whether you're live or replay, you're welcome to chat. This is my new way of offering myself, but it's also a way of connecting with the people that I've lost touch with. So if you're somebody in my space and you've been missing me, these streams are a way for me to connect with you. And if you're new to my vibe and new to the experience of connecting with me, then I hope this resonates. And if it doesn't, I hope you enjoy whatever direction you float onto. So my name is Paige Allison. I have two business names, Paige Allison Healing Arts, which is where I offer most of my services, but I really have been transitioning to offering everything through the Devoted and Vulnerable platform. The Devoted and Vulnerable is this platform that my partner and I created where we share both of our services. And the Devoted and Vulnerable name comes from the exploration of this relationship dynamic called polarity. And it doesn't really give a great idea of what the dynamic is, but I have other streams on that dynamic and I've talked about it and I've done blog posts about it. So if you wanted to go to my website and find out more about the dynamic of polarity, go ahead and go to devotedandvulnerable.com. These streams I'm offering on a donation-based service, a donation-based offering. So just a reminder that if you do find value in what it is that I'm offering and you feel called to put a monetary amount to that value and share back that value that you found with me, I am open to receive whatever it is that you are willing to give. This is my life. This is how I make a living, and I'm only able to continue to do this if I'm receiving back from the value that people are finding from what it is that I'm offering. I do have a service that you could sign up for if you're interested. It's the chakra meditation service. So chakras are energy centers in our bodies, and they can get blocked by certain lower, denser frequencies that we've experienced throughout our lives and are kind of prevalent everywhere. And in order for our energy to move freely and to move through us with clarity and align us with the truth of who we are, we have to clear these blocks. So I have a meditation service. We go through a new meditation every week. We are spending every day doing these meditations. They're between 15 minutes to 20 minutes, and it's been profound. I think I might just do a stream where I talk about the ways that these meditations have been impacting me in my life, because I go through them too. And with everything that I'm offering, I'm part of the journey with you. It's not like I feel I have more knowledge or more to offer. I really am experiencing everything as I'm offering it, because I think that's how we learn the best. So it's only $14.40 a month. You can sign up at devotedandvulnerable.com/services and click on the chakra meditation service. You do need to have the app WhatsApp, and there's instructions on how to connect with that app once you sign up. So let's get back to the just chatting, and let me pull up my card here. So there it is. So I did a spread about a month ago now. And this card came up. This is the Super Attractor deck by Gabrielle Bernstein. And this card came through to give me a message, the biggest message that I think I've ever received from a card. And the card says, my ability to receive is measured by how often I practice good feeling thoughts. So I'm somebody who is very positive oriented and somebody who makes it a point to talk about the spells people cast with the words that they're saying and to wake people up to the reality that they are co-creators of their worlds and that everything that they're offering into the world is coming back to them. And I'm always talking about being mindful of that. But when I saw this card, I checked in with myself and I started to notice, okay, how does that thought feel? Oh, well, that doesn't really feel great in my body. Oh, how does that thought feel? Oh man, that thought doesn't feel good in my body. And I just kept checking in, and the majority of my thoughts that I was thinking didn't feel great in my body. I'm somebody who, although I talk about the positive aspects of life and focusing on them and experiencing them, I also have a Gemini moon, which is ruling over the emotions. So I have one feeling and another, both at the same time. And I tend to catastrophize a lot. I tend to think about the worst thing that could happen, and thinking about the worst thing that can happen doesn't feel great in my body. Doesn't feel good at all. So I just started this practice of consciously slowing down, checking in with my thoughts, checking in how I'm feeling, and making sure that the thoughts that I was thinking and feeling felt good in my body. And I recognized that it was actually really hard to sustain this good feeling experience for long periods of time. And I was thinking good feeling thoughts, right? And I had this big smile on my face. And then I stopped because I was judging how stupid I looked with this like silly grin on my face. And I noticed how much resistance I have to thinking and feeling good feeling thoughts. And this was a huge epiphany for me because this is something that I preach. This is something that I tell people all the time to do. And here I am checking on my thoughts and being like, wow, I don't think good feeling thoughts that often. These thoughts are kind of toxic and they don't feel great, and I don't want the things that I'm thinking about to happen. And so I've just been using this as a way to shift my inner landscape, my inner reality, my inner dialogue. And I have seen so many things improve in my life just by making this shift, just by remembering that if I'm getting angry at the universe for not giving me all of the things that I deserve and want, and I'm manifesting and calling in and pouring my heart into, if I'm not receiving those things, I go back to this card. My ability to receive is measured by how often I practice good feeling thoughts. So if I'm not getting those things, if I'm not receiving the manifestations that I've been calling in, have I been thinking and practicing good feeling thoughts? Every time I check in, I'm like, wow, I have fallen off the good feeling thought wagon and I need to get back on because I desire to get back on because it feels good to feel good. That's actually one of the cards in this deck, and it says it right on the back of the box, on the inside of it. And that in and of itself is like permission to feel good. It's good to feel good. We can feel good. It's okay. It's actually our birthright. It's actually what helps everyone else in our lives. You know, a lot of times we get pulled into helping others and pulled into their dramas and pulled into being their saviors and showing them the way, when really all we need to do is focus on us and check in with our own thoughts and take responsibility for the problems we're creating in our lives. And I'm just trying to feel into whether I have much more to share on this subject. I'm not sure that I do at this time. I will say that this does also resonate with Abraham Hicks and their collective work, because in that work, they talk about this relationship that we have with the universe and how we navigate the universe through the focus of our thoughts. And this way of navigating and attracting, the law of attraction, if you've heard of the law of attraction, if you've heard of The Secret, that actually came from the work of Abraham Hicks. And if you've not heard of these people or these concepts, that's fine. I just want to share that it is validated in other parts of my life, and that you can find the extra validation if you're curious about diving into the subject deeper too. So the law of attraction is a law. It's a universal law like gravity. And it says that, and actually more universal than gravity, but we don't have to get into that. The law says that whatever you give out, you attract back. Actually, I think the way Abraham phrases it is, they don't quite say like attracts like. That which is like unto itself is drawn to itself. So that's another way of saying what you put out, you get back. So if I'm putting out all of these vibes of what if this happens, 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 oh my gosh, I'm so this, I'm so this, I'm so this, blah, blah, blah. And it feels tight and tense and gross, then that's what I'm going to get back from the universe. Because the universe doesn't listen to and by the universe, I mean the way that this law works is it doesn't care whether there's an I don't want this or an I want this. What it responds to is the vibrational offering. So if the vibrational offering is fear and lack and unworthiness, then what I'm getting back and what I'm going to experience in my life is going to match that. It's going to show me things to be afraid of. It's going to show me that I don't have enough. It's going to show me that people reject me, because that's the law. So in order to change that and utilize it to my benefit, I have to start thinking good feeling thoughts. And I shared this example yesterday in the unicorn meditation. So if you guys are unicorn people and want to experience an encounter with a unicorn, I did offer an amazing meditation for that yesterday. It was so much fun, and there's so many people who reached out and said they loved it. So hopefully you'll love it too if that's something that calls to you. But the reason that I offered that meditation was because of this concept of thinking good feeling thoughts. And there is this resistance I think people have to thinking thoughts that are unrealistic when it comes to being positive. So like, if I wanted to think a thought of, I'm going to meet a unicorn today, and that feels good in my body, it doesn't matter how likely it is that I'm going to walk outside and see a unicorn. That doesn't matter. Just the same as if I'm worrying about a worst case scenario, it doesn't matter how likely it is that that worst thing that could possibly happen will happen. What matters is the vibration that I'm offering, and that I'm going to get feedback from the universe that matches that vibration. The essence is more important than the form. So the essence of feeling a magical encounter with the universe, with this beautiful innocent, graceful, magical energy. That's the essence. To me, a unicorn represents all of that. But the reason to think about it isn't to manifest a unicorn walking down the street. It's to manifest the energy, the essence of that magic that I'm focusing on. And it feels good to me. So then more things that feel good to me are coming into my life. Just where it doesn't matter if the worst case possible scenario that you're coming up with in your mind doesn't happen. You're offering resistance and lack and fear, and you're going to get that essence back at you. It might not be in the form of what it is that you're like totally afraid of happening, but it's going to match that vibration. So this is something that I have been practicing in my life diligently and learning and studying. And like I said, last month, this still opened me up to a new level of awareness and understanding about it. So I was called to share it with you and to talk about it and then to offer a meditation. So I'm going to jump off this stream and start another one. And then once the stream's over, I'll link it into this description here. And we're going to just go into good feeling thoughts. We're going to sustain thoughts that feel good for however long the meditation lasts. I like to let my meditations flow and not quite know how long they'll be or get too structured in that. And I'm losing my train of thought. Sorry. Here I am again. So it doesn't matter whether or not it's likely that something will happen. What matters is that it feels good in your body and that you want more of the things that feel like that to happen and to experience it before you see the form of it. We have this belief that when this thing happens, then I'll feel good. When the form is here, then I will feel justified in feeling good about my life. Instead of just saying, I'm going to feel good about something, anything, thinking about things that maybe will never happen, but feel good to think about. Like for me, it feels so good to think about world peace. It feels so good to think about everyone on the planet having enough, and not only having enough, being supported and following their heart and their inner being and their desires, and there being this collective human family that just gets along and has no drama. However realistic that is, doesn't matter because it feels so good for me to think about. And the more I think thoughts that are about that elicit this good feeling within me, the more I'm going to go out into my environment and see that reflected back at me. That's really the purpose of thinking good feeling thoughts. But I love the way that this card phrases it. My ability to receive is measured by how often I practice good feeling thoughts. So it's not just about this law of attraction, right? It's about what I'm receiving is an example, a feedback on what it is that I'm giving and putting out. And that is my indicator. If I'm not receiving things that feel good to me, well, how much time in the last week have I spent thinking thoughts about myself, about others, about the world, about the future, about the past that don't feel great? Instead of just sitting down and thinking thoughts that feel good, thinking about my past and celebrating the journey that I've had and thinking about my good qualities and the way that I've shifted and adapted in my life and all of these other amazing things that I've experienced and done and all the potential that exists in the future for new experiences and amazing opportunities. And to hold that vibration and to practice these good feeling thoughts so that we can be in this feeling space as often as possible. So my intention with this meditation that I'm offering to all of us, is that we have something to go back to help us activate and commit to this practice of good feeling thoughts. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. Thank you for the unique puzzle piece that you are to the grand unfolding that is this life. Thank you for your gifts. Thank you for your heart. Thank you for your love. And thank you for all that you do for yourself and for the world. I will see you in the next video. And as always, namaste. The universal light and dark within me salutes and honors the universal light and dark within you. Namaste.